Well, it's fair to say, I guess, that the LaraFM Audit LA meeting of the minds did not go well for Lara, and most people really hate and despise her and how she acted and was being the usual overgrown crybaby. I guess I'm puzzled that I didn't join the complete hatred. Like, I thought it was pretty stupid, but like that's what she does normally. She's always screaming and shouting and ah, ah. So I'm like, why are people upset at this case? She does that pretty routinely. I mean, when Daniel from Salem was getting that treatment, a lot of people didn't care. So I don't know. Anyway, so now we're doing damage control and preparing for the FDA protest. And Faith tried to look at these channels that allegedly were promoting this thing. It's like they're not even getting ready. It's like I guess they're gonna start streaming it when it actually happens on the dot. So they have a permit for about 10 or so hours in order to do what they want to do. So I'm just trying to do a good faith overview survey of what to expect. And these guys don't disappoint me in how silly they get. So Lara, in this interview with Audit LA, I guess is trying to revise her stupidity and blame it on the CIA. I am not joking. She's like, yes, that's what happened. It's her Jason Bourne programming. It got out of control, guys. Can't blame her.
The hand and say this, you do this. The moment security comes and says go inside, you gotta go inside. It's security order. And that's why I brought that up. It's something that you just, it's a spell because you're mixing. Scientology comes from all kinds of stuff, other religions, psychology, psychiatry, hypnotic, tactics like witchcraft or and whatever, MK Ultra tactics. There's so many things that Scientology. So how are we even just saying Scientology is just one thing? No.
Well, to preserve the whole thing with fair use, I had to cut off a little bit. I don't want to be accused by Lara of stealing intellectual properties or whatever. So she started off with the analogy, I guess, of like Dumbo, like the way elephants are trained and well, they have to submit in a circus or something. I guess that's the analogy, and the Sea Org people are the same thing. I don't know. I don't think that would make much sense. I mean, I do find it hilarious. I mean, I have no issue comparing Nora to a big, fat, dumb, ugly elephant. But even I would not be comparing elephants to Nora. I mean, elephants are frankly much more intelligent. They probably don't do those things. I mean, she signed a contract at an adult age. She wasn't coerced. She wasn't forced. But I guess the new line is they were all the victims of a massive CIA program, the MK Ultras. Yeah, the MK Ultras got into their brain. What could they do? They were helpless. They had no choice. Oh. Now there is something serious here. There are some tantalizing clues and overlap that yes, Scientology might have participated in these kind of CIA programs. There's a very good book, Chaos, which looks at the Manson case and the way that Scientology, the CIA, the FBI were all mixed in together in some very weird situations. However, Tom O'Neill is careful. He's not drawing a straight line saying, right, that the CIA ordered Scientology to brainwash Los Angeles to turn it into a satanic apocalyptic nightmare. But he is saying, yes, there are definitely connections and very weird overlaps. Again, he doesn't go into Scientology in too much detail, but he does note, yeah, there's definitely a lot of weird connections. That said, and I'm not going to name names, but some of these streamers need to calm down. That every time they encounter an issue or problem, like they push the OSA button way too much. Do I think it's reasonable to say that OSA and CIA might have some context? Sure. I mean, secret intelligence agencies do deal with one another, right? But we should be careful of going with what's rock solid. I just know through my own reading of the CIA histories and secret histories, yeah, they definitely collaborated, traded notes, and exchange information with the obvious people. KGB, South Africa had their own intelligence agency. They did some stuff in the US because they had mutual enemies. There's a good book on the Israelis and Mossad spy fail, and they're noting how ambitious the Israelis were to contact South Africans and others to get help in their crusade to colonialized Palestine. So yes, these spy agencies do often work together. They're not as at war with one another as people think. It's often a very weird kind of spy capitalism behind the scenes. It's like it's horrible for the civilians caught in the crossfire. Like, uh, again, I'm not going to go into too much detail in this case, but there's a case where the Cubans actually kidnapped a guy who was visiting Cuba, and they didn't really care about the guy. They were trying to get back their own spies who were captured in the U.S. And it got weirder because those spies were actually helping the U.S. But I guess the Bush administration is like, no, we're going to keep them. And they reneged on a deal. And so the Cubans were like, okay, fine, we're going to retaliate. And so it's just a shady back and forth. It's unfortunate for the victims, but don't believe everything you hear about this hyper, like, oh, they're at war with one another. More like they're just negotiating behind the scenes. It is what it is. It's very dirty. However, don't think every time a protest goes wrong, right? Like the Scream guy with the knife. Apparently, it was a real knife, but do I really think that was a CIA OSA operation in disguise? I doubt it. I wouldn't be shocked if it was. I wouldn't be shocked if we later found out the Russians are trying to help the protesters. I wouldn't be shocked, but let's not get too paranoid. Also, that doesn't explain Lara's forays with Danny Masterson at the club, right? So was she partying with Danny Masterson because the Russians and the CIA and the South Africans and Israelis were planning that? Is like the poubelle a front for Putin? I mean, really, let's calm down with the hyper paranoia. But anyway, I thought that was amusing. So anyway, but I want to not just do the whatever YouTube beef, whatever, and make money. There was some solid information. Like one of the streamers had a pretty good map, and they showed that the protests, which did get a lot of good coverage, they're still being sometimes framed as anarchy or whatever, a riot. It's like, no, it's a very small part of Los Angeles. It's on the east end of it, and it's a fairly small area. It's near Eco Park. If you see a lot of films, yeah, you often see Eco Park. They often film there. So yeah, it's not this whole big thing. They were trying to take over the whole city or march on Beverly Hills. Beverly Hills is quite a bit away. Yeah, Bel Air is next to Beverly Hills. So next time you see the Fresh Prince of Scientology, yeah, it's like yeah, it is near Beverly Hills. Huh, that's interesting. Interesting.
She, like I said, she is being boop, 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 with the whip, and the elephant leg is up just without like she's she's that far. So again, I love your hope, and some of your hope has literally made stuff happen. So
Well, we got to keep it up because you know what? At the very end of the day, they don't like that publicity that somebody wants to leave. So at the end of the day, if it's not true and it's just possibly true, I'm sure it causes anxiety for them, wondering if it's true. So, oh my God.
Apologies if that was a little too low volume. It is what it is, guys. I just keep getting copyright strikes from these supposed allies and the real anti-Scientologists. So it is what it is. But basically, Audit LA was talking about, well, they don't like the publicity of people possibly leaving. Well, again, I just wish people were just a little bit more honest the way they're doing their content. But, listen, I'm pretty much just giving up on this whole thing. It's like, it is what it is. People will grow their channel however they please. Whatever they do, I don't really care anymore. Didn't they just lose that Joy woman? Right? Villa, whatever. At the end of the day, this is a money making business. So, will losing a Sea Org member or even a high profile Scientologist be bad? Yeah, sure, it's bad. But at the end of the day, if they're making money, I don't think Miscavige or Moxon or whoever really cares. I mean, at the end of the day, it is about bringing in the cash. So, I mean, again, everyone has to do what they want to do. If they want to do these like side tactics, annoy the Scientologists, and keep up the pressure that way. But it's not Jerry Armstrong. Good or bad, Jerry Armstrong has a much more, I don't know, an actual real path to do something. So I promoted it several times. I'll do it again. But Jerry wants support for basically, it's not even a lawsuit, but basically to rectify an injustice. I'm going to keep it short and simple just to show the contrast. I mean, hopefully the Father's Day protest does something, but I mean, let's say the miracle happens. They get out, what, 4 or 5 people? Reconnect 4 or 5 families. Okay, is that really going to stop the heart of Scientology? The answer is no. But hey, if it's on camera and you make a lot of money from the streaming, good for you. But Jerry is proposing that we help him with this old IRS case where he was declared apparently insane. And that was critical because his victory against Scientology was blocking the tax exemption. and they couldn't get around it. So the IRS and Scientology just declared, well, that ruling is null and void because Jerry's crazy. So it doesn't matter. The ruling doesn't matter. He's nuts. We're done. And that's actually the mechanism they have to have the tax exemption, that Jerry isn't crazy. So he just needs a little bit of help to get into the U.S. and say, again, well, unfortunately, it is what it is. You have to find the right kind of judge and right kind of court. And the court and judge can say, no, he's fine, perfectly sound mind and body. The ruling from the 80s still holds. Tax exemption literally goes away like that. It just disappears. Now, obviously, it's more complicated. I'm sure they'll appeal the decision, right? They are going to stop any attempt to get the tax exemption revoked. And at the end of the day, it's not going to destroy Scientology either. They're just going to reformulate all their public charities into private corporations. Nevertheless, it would still be something. And at the very least, it would no longer be directly subsidizing Scientology itself. So the church would have to be making up its own money privately. I'm sure they're still going to try to find some way to work with the charity laws, but that would be denied them. They cannot say that they are, quote, a charity in any real sense. They have to, like, that is gone. That's all we need to do. Get the ruling back, declare Jerry mentally sane. That's the way he explains it. Seems rather a miracle, but there we go. But hey, I guess the money and the attention is focused on speculative CIA OSA operations from Moscow, where maybe not, they're brainwashing Lara FM like an elephant. Oh, and we promote Streets LA as the savior of Los Angeles. That's where the money is. That if you want to make money, grow the channel, go that way. And hey, I like money too, but at least I want to try to do some serious activism. And Jerry's more the route if you want to go. I will promote that interview. It's a very interesting interview he did with Alonzo. The Father's Day people, I hope they have success. But, I also got to call for what it is. It is just kind of celebrities talking to other celebrities. That is what that is about. Minor E celebrities talking to other E celebrities about the CIA is trying to destroy me. I mean, to be consistent, I thought even Doug was going a little too far when he did it. But at least Scott Kramer, put in the work to actually try to find these links. Whereas now it's like, if Laura or her gang gets in trouble, it's like, the CIA and the elephants and the MK Ultra and my peanuts. Right. And we all nod and like, yes. Yes, and Streets LA is Shaft in Africa, and he's fighting the South African CIA neo fat. Oh wait, no, he's not. He's just in a tracksuit with him and Jessica, moving around town, annoying people for money, putting their camera in people's faces. Say, "Are you a Scientologist? You're a Scientologist? I'm filming you for Streets of LA. I'm gonna expose you in DOA." And then, do another cartoon adventure and this moronic, weirdo reality TV series called The Real World by Willie and Jessica and Lara FM, I guess. That's where the real hardcore radical activism is, I guess.